and verse 16. This sermon was requested by one of our elders, and I am so thankful to God for the request and so happy to preach it. During World War II, during the Battle of the Bulge, there was a group of German soldiers who had, in order to advance the enemy lines on the United States, had done a very interesting thing. They went and they dressed up like American soldiers and like the Allies. And they also went around and they would use American military vehicles as they drove about the roads, and they would stop at the intersections and they would change the signs. Possibly turn it to where an arrow was facing a different way. Sometimes take the sign down and put up a new sign, one that wasn't true. They changed the road signs, and this caused a lot of confusion for America and our allies. Because as we would come to an intersection in the road, we didn't know the area. And so we thought the sign would say to go right, but actually we were supposed to go left. And it was a pretty good military tactic, to be honest with you. In fact, the Germans almost won that very pivotal battle in World War II, the Battle of the Bulge. Now, they didn't win, but they were very close because of that technique or that tactic. And so it is the case that changing road signs is a real danger. It was a real danger then, and dear friends, it's a real danger today. I rely on the road signs. Now, you folks that have lived here all your lives, you just go down the road and turn left, you know right where you're going. I don't. I don't know where I'm going, so I rely on those road signs. And sometimes, Julie will attest to you, I rely on them, but they still don't get me where I'm going. I don't know if somebody changed them or if I just can't follow them correctly. But it's important to have proper road signs. I'll tell you where road signs are being changed, and it's even more tragic than on our highways. They're being changed spiritually. There are a lot of folks that are distorting the paths, the old paths. They're changing the road signs, and therefore what's happening is people are becoming very confused, religiously speaking. And I can understand that, because I see the need for proper and clearly marked road signs. The days of Jeremiah were really no different. The people had left God. They had left God so greatly that God was going to destroy them. And He told them He was going to destroy them. It was coming in just a few short years from Jeremiah's day. Now, Jeremiah is a great man, a great prophet of God, known as the weeping prophet. And because he cried more tears over the lost nation than possibly any other preacher did. Jeremiah was a man that we could look up to and admire because he preached for some 50 years. And yet he had not one convert that we can find in the Bible. He preached to a people that were hard-hearted and calloused. But even in that destruction that God was ready to bring upon them, He still pleaded with them to come back. In Jeremiah 6, that's exactly what this text is all about. God's pleading with His people to come back. With His people to turn from their sinful ways and come back. And so Jeremiah, through the prophet Jeremiah, says these words, what our brother read for us a minute ago. Thus says the Lord, stand ye in the ways. You guys are at a crossroads. And you've got to make a decision here. Stand ye in the ways and see and ask directions. All right? Don't be so proud that you know where to go. Ask for the old paths. Where is the good way? And walk therein, and ye shall find rest to your souls. But watch this. Last part of the verse, almost unbelievable. But they said, we will not walk therein. Brethren, we're living in a time when this is true today. People are not, number one, asking where the old paths are. Number two, they're not really asking for directions. And number three, sadly, when they do find the directions, many of them are saying, we refuse to walk therein. And so we need to be careful ourselves as we warn the world around us. Instead of just traveling on blindly, we need to stop. We need to ask for directions. And so Jeremiah, through inspiration's pen, gives us three things in this verse that I want us to notice this morning. From Jeremiah 6 and verse 16, if you have your Bibles open, you will notice them very clearly. The first of which I want to see is the requirement. Look at the first part of verse 16. Thus saith the Lord, stand ye in the ways and see and ask for the old paths. Where is the good way? And walk therein. Now, surprisingly, I love how the Bible just outlines itself for preachers like me that need a little help. It just outlines it perfectly. In this requirement, I also see the three things that we need to notice right from the text. Number one, there is the authority. You say, preacher, you say to stop and ask directions. direction, to stop and see and look for the old paths. Well, what right do you have to tell me? What right did Jeremiah have to tell the people that they were on the wrong path? What right did Jeremiah have to say that there is a way that is right and there's a way that is wrong? Where did he get that authority? And authority is right in the text, is it not, my friends? Thus saith the Lord, stand ye in the ways and see. You see, this isn't about me being right or you being right or Jeremiah being right. This is about God Almighty's authority. And so it is the case when God outlines His authority, when He's given us His authority, and He has given us His authority in His inspired Word, then it is the case that that is the authority we must listen to. It's no longer, well, I think so, or I've been taught, or I thought so. Listen, I've been on the road. I've been traveling and thought I was right. I have gone numerous miles in the wrong direction, knowing in my mind that I was right. But guess what? I was wrong. You see, all paths do not lead to the same place. That's false. And that doesn't even make good common sense, does it? Well, we're all on different paths. We're all going to the same place. Come on. Where is that true in life? What part of life is that on? Well, you see, preacher, I'm working on my master's degree. Well, how you doing it? I just sit at home all day and eat sandwiches and pop popcorn. Well, wait a second. That doesn't work. How do you get a master's degree with that? Well, all roads lead to the same place. Well, not another person says, well, I get up every day and I work hard and I go to school and I do my homework and I study diligently into the wee hours of the night and I spend exuberant amounts of money into this education and I'm getting my master's work. Well, you say it doesn't matter. Why spend the money? All roads lead to the same place, right? You would say, friend, you just sit still. Everything's going to be fine. We're going to get you where you can get some help, right? If you start out on this road right out here, this lovely Route 13, and you go that direction, which all my friends in the assembly are saying, that's east, that's west, that's north, that's south, whatever direction that is, okay? I got a little wind vane on my barn, and it tells me right which way direction everything is. So you go that way on Route 13. I know some of you are just sitting there wanting to holler it out, aren't you? You go that direction on Route 13, and you say, well, where are you going? Well, I'm going to Eau Claire. Well, are you really? Now, I'll tell you what, this little preacher don't know much about this area yet, but I'm going to tell you what, if you get on Route 13 and go that way, I don't think you'll ever come to Eau Claire. Will you? Did I make that decision right? No, you won't ever make it to Eau Claire if you go Route 13. But listen, it doesn't matter. Does it really matter which direction I go? Because all roads lead to the same place, I would say, friend. Now, come on. There's either something mentally wrong with you or you had way too much coffee this morning, right? You would say something is wrong because all roads don't lead to the same place. The authority says this is the road you take if you want to get to that destination. This is a command from Almighty God. And I want you to think about that in the New Testament terms. Do you remember in Romans chapter 9? In fact, flip your Bibles to Romans chapter 9. If you have an extra finger, stick it there in Jeremiah. Come back to Romans chapter 9. This is amazing what the Apostle Paul, by the way, by inspiration's pen, again, the authority coming from God. Because see, what happens is, when you start preaching this kind of stuff, a lot of people say, well, I don't like that. And I just really, I don't like what God had to say there. And they do it all the time, do they not? Do people not refute God? They'll say, well, I don't like no instrumental music in worship. I like instruments of music. And some may say, I don't like preaching. I don't like it that way. I would sooner have entertainment. And some may say, I don't like women's role being specified in the Word of God. And so I want to do with women what they want to do. Is that what the Bible says? Well, we've got to come back to the authority. Look at Romans chapter 9, verse 19, beginning. Thou wilt say then unto me, why doth he yet find fault? For who hath resisted his will? Paul asked the question. Nay, but, O man, who art thou that repliest against God? That's a question, by the way, and may I submit to you a rhetorical question that needs no answer. I'm going to put it in cornbread, you ready? Who are you to rise up against the Creator and refute what He has to say? Who are we? How dare us as humans even think we can stand against God? I even get scared. When I had a dear elder one time in a congregation when I was working, and he would make statements like this, and it would scare me to death. He would say, well, I really don't like the way God chose to do that, but if that's what He said, we'll do it. I said, brother, I like the second part. If that's what He said, we'll do it, but I don't like the first part. My way's not His way. My thoughts aren't His thoughts. Isaiah 55. So it is the case that I don't want to say, well, God, I don't like the way you did that. Who am I to possibly say to the creator of the universe, you know, I really don't like the way you did that? Are you going to stand against God? That's what Paul said, to keep going with me. Nay, but, O man, verse 20, who art thou that repliest against God? Shall the thing formed say to him that formed it, why hast thou made me thus? Verse 21, hath not the potter power over the clay of the same lump to make one vessel unto honor and to another dishonor? What is Paul saying? Listen, you have no right as human beings to stand up against the authority of heaven and earth and say, well, God, this is the way I think it should be. Shame on us, and I mean that with love and kindness. Shame on us for even trying to do such a thing, right?
Amen.
Shame on us. We've got to stand where God has stood, and that's the end of it. That's all. Do you remember Hebrews 4 and verse 12? Where the good book says, for the word of God is quick and powerful. That means alive and powerful. They tell me, older folks use that saying quick a lot more than younger folks do. Sometimes they would drive a splinter up under their nail. Have you ever done that? Drive a splinter up under that nail? And I've heard older people say, oh, that thing got right into the quick. What do you mean by that? It got you right where they're alive, right? That skin up in there is alive. And there's nerves up in there, and it cut me clear to the quick. For the word of God is quick, it's alive and powerful, sharper than any two-edged sword, piercing even to the dividing asunder of soul and spirit, and joints and marrow, and is a discerner, look at it now, a discerner of the thoughts and the intents of the heart. The word discerner there, krino in the original language, literally means to judge. Don't judge me, preacher. All right, listen, I'm on this path. Don't you judge me. You get on your path, and we'll all go to the same place. So wait a second. If I were judging you, that would be true. But I'm not the one judging. The word of God is the judge. God's word says this, and so it is the case. It's quick and alive. And who am I to resist against it? I'm formed. I'm not the potter. I'm the clay. And so it is the case. We understand the authority. There's a so-called pastor in a community church who I was reading after, and I do read after some of these guys sometimes. He was interviewed some time ago, and he was asked this. Now, I find this very interesting. He was asked that if he had all the power over the evangelical world, and you know what I mean by that. The evangelical world is a big, large term that everybody lumps Christianity under. Okay? Christianity, not like you and I would know it, but as the denominational world would say it. So this evangelical world, you have power over every part of the evangelical world. What would you do with that power? To which he replied, and I quote, I would ask preachers, pastors, and student pastors in their communication to get the spotlight off the Bible and back on the resurrection. If you're thinking like me, you're thinking, isn't that an oxymoron? How in the world can I talk to you this morning about the resurrection without the spotlight of the Bible? How can I do that? Well, Jesus rose from the dead. Yeah. So there's a purple elephant in the middle of the room too. How are you going to prove it? Well, I don't know. I can't go to the Bible to prove it. I can't go to 1 Corinthians 15 where you're seeing 500 brethren at one time. I can't do that because the spotlight's off the Bible. It's on the resurrection. Now, watch. He continues. Let's get people's attention back on Jesus as soon as possible, that the issue for us always is who is Jesus and did he rise from the dead? I mean this in no sarcastic way at all, but I don't know there's any other way that it's going to come out. And that fella's got letters after his name. I think he sat at home and ate bonbons and got a degree. He had to. That doesn't even make common sense, does it? Now listen, I'm an uneducated man. I'm a country boy, as plain and simple as you'll ever find. But you know what? I know that doesn't make sense. If you're going to know about Jesus, where are you going to know about it? You going to go to history? Well, now, fortunately, there is a little bit known about Jesus. There was a man called Jesus. He walked around the earth. He did a lot of great things. There's a little historical information on Jesus. But you know where you go to find Jesus? You go to the Bible. You go to the Word of God. If you throw the authority out, friend, you've thrown the resurrection out. You've thrown the life cycle of Jesus out, his death, burial, his resurrection, the gospel. You've thrown it all out. You've thrown every prophecy concerning the resurrection. I won't let thy Holy One to see corruption. Psalm 22, Psalm 16. What are you going to do? How are you going to prove it? You see, we can't get away from the authority. That's where we must establish it. Number two, out of this request, I not only see the authority, but I see the asking. Look at this now. And ask for the old paths. Now the immediate context here is obviously the law of Moses. If you go to Jeremiah 7, 22 and 23, Jeremiah makes that point very clear. He's talking to people who lived under the old law. Now you might be here this morning. You might say, I don't understand what you just said. If I were sitting in an assembly such as this morning and I hadn't studied this or had somebody kind enough to show it to me, I would probably say, what are you talking about? So it's not that I know more than you or have studied more than you, but somebody was kind enough to show this to me. There's a difference between the old law and the new law. A vast difference. And so it is the case that Jeremiah is asking for the old paths, which in the immediate context was the old law, the law of Moses, which now we are no longer under. Now if you kind of scratch your head about that, here's what we need to do, because they only give me so much time to preach up here. Although they did remove the clock from the back, and I like that. Don't you amen anybody, all right? We could sit down together and study that, okay? Because it would take a little bit of time, but I know, because somebody took the time to show me, I know that if you were honest, I could show you the difference between the old law and new, not because of who I am, but because this book, how great it is, okay? So we can establish that very easily. But now today, what's he talking about? How would that apply to us today? To go back to the old law of Moses? No, I don't believe so, because the old law has been done away with. It's been nailed to the cross. Colossians 2:14, if you study with me, we'll talk further about that later. But see, Jesus is still pleading that we seek the right way. Now, in this asking, I want you to think logically with me. If there's a right way, there is also a wrong way. Thanks, Ruth. It's exactly what it is, right? If there's a right way, there's a wrong way. If there's, I'll put it in cornbread language that even preachers can understand. If there's good chocolate cake, there is bad chocolate. Now I got your attention, right? Now you know. If there's a good way, friends, there's a bad way. If there's a right way, there is a wrong way. Watch it now. The asking. You remember Matthew chapter 7? Oh, hold your finger right there in Jeremiah. So we'll come back to him. And go to Matthew 7 real quickly. I can't believe. Well, I can. It's just amazing to me how the Bible fits together like a hand in a glove. This book is divine from start to finish. Look at Matthew 7 and verse 13 beginning. Jesus said this. Now watch it. Enter ye in at the straight gate. For wide is the gate and broad is the way that leadeth to destruction, and many there be which go in thereat. What's he talking about? Oh, the big easy path. Now watch verse 14. Because straight is the gate, and narrow is the way which leadeth unto life, and few there be that find it. What Jesus said. Stop. Ask for the old paths. Seek the right way. But you see, he even went so far as to say, listen, I'm going to tell you, you're going to stand in a multitude of people. You're going to stand around a multitude of people that are going down this path. Preacher, are you kidding me? I know of churches in this area got 40,000 members. They got 40,000 members. They got 20,000 members. I see something on TV the other day where a man was preaching, or what he called preaching, and there was like 10,000 people in this assembly. You gotta give the guy credit for something. Maybe nice hair, but I'm not going to give him any more credit than that. Well, there's 10,000 people. What do you got here? 60 at best? Come on. 60, 10,000. Many there be which go in thereat. It's easy. It's easy. But few there be that find it. Few there be that find it. Few in Noah's day was 8, right? 1 Peter chapter 3, Peter said 8 were saved by, or wherein few, that is 8 souls, were saved by water. You think of the context of the people in Noah's day. I'm not saying 8 is that hard, fast number, but I'm saying it shows an illustration. There are a lot of people in Noah's day, and there was 8 of them saved. We went over that today, didn't we, Cameron? We can go to those guys, don't we? We know they're the 3 boys now. That's right. Well, few there be that go in thereat. I want to be part of the few. John 14:6, Jesus said, I am the way, the truth, and life. No man leadeth unto the no man goeth unto the Father but by me. Well, it's narrow. There's not much room on the path. What about Acts 4 and verse 12? Listen to it now. There is no other name given among men whereby we must be saved. What's the name mean? The authority. Policeman stops you in the name of the law, by the authority of the law. There is no other name under heaven given among men whereby we must be saved. There's no other name. What name? Jesus Christ. He's the authority. The asking. Number 3, under this idea of the requirement, I want you to see the action. All right, the action. And walk therein. I want you folks to listen to this carefully because I love you. It's not enough to find the old path. It's not enough to come up to the crossroads and say, all right, that way is the way that's the good way. That's the right way, and you sit down at the crossroads. That won't get you anywhere, will it? Let me tell you with love what we've got in America today, and probably overseas. I've seen it in America. We've got crossroads, and there's the good path, and right on the other side of the crossroads, we've got pews filled with people. And they're sitting right the right way. I'm on the right road. Got on the right road when I was 18 years old. Been there for 47 years. I think that's commendable. I really do. I'm not poking at that. But what have you done in that 47 years? I'm on the right road. Yeah, but you're not really walking therein. You're not really moving down the road. You're sitting in a padded pew beside the road. But it's comfortable. Absolutely. There's no question about it. You pull onto a road, it's nice to pull over, watch the deer play, and watch the badgers run around, and watch the fish jump out of the lake. Jesse, that's fun, isn't it? Yeah, Alyssa's there. Yeah, I don't watch them jump. I catch them. She is a fishing fool. You ought to ask her about that after services. I'm telling you, it's fun to sit alongside the road. But you don't get anywhere. Jeremiah said, walk therein. Go to James real quick, then we'll come back to Jeremiah. James 1. James 1, verse 22 beginning. I'll give you a second to get there. James 1 and verse 22 beginning. Now listen to this. This is amazing stuff. But be doers of the word, and not hearers only, deceiving your own selves. For if any be a hearer of the word and not a doer, he's like a man beholding his face in a glass. Or like we would say a looking glass, a mirror. He said, for beholdeth himself, verse 24, he beholds himself, and he goes his way and straightways forget what manner of man he was. Let me illustrate this. It's amazing how these illustrations come to me through the week. The other morning I awoke, and I have a little ritual, and part of that ritual is making coffee, and part of that other ritual should be shaving. Okay, I just don't like to shave. I'm not a big shaver. I never have been. I shaved this morning for you, but I don't like to shave. Sometimes when Monday's my day off, you'll catch me unshaven. All right? I got up the other morning to come to the office, and I looked at my face in the mirror, and I thought, I need to shave. Somebody's going to stop by today. I'll see somebody. I need to shave. But I thought, you know what? I'll be back in a little bit. I'm going to go drink my coffee. I'm going to go play around on Craigslist a little bit. I like to look at the farm section. And then I'll come back and shave. Well, I did. I got up, made my coffee. I went through my routine. And I played around on Craigslist. And I looked at several things I didn't need. And then I closed up everything. And I put it by the steps. And I put my shoes by the steps. And I went back. And I got my clothes on and my shoes on. And guess what I did? I walked away. And the mirror didn't do anything for me because I didn't shave. And I get in here to work. And I'm like, oh, man. Hope nobody stops by, because you just don't want to see a face like this unshaven. I want you to look at me, and I'm being videoed right now, ain't I? Oh, you're right there. Look at that. All right. I want to look good because the mirror said I don't look good, right? What did I do? I looked at the looking glass and I walked away, and it didn't change one bit about me. You know what he's saying? He's saying, you, Rodney, were just like the spiritual man who looks into the perfect law of liberty, and he says, you know what? I really ought to do that. That preacher's right. The word does definitely say he that believes and is baptized should be saved. I really ought to do that. But you know what? I don't need to shave today. And you walk out that door. And you don't shave, and you don't shave, and you don't shave, and the next thing you look like Tyler. You got a beard you can't deal with, right? Amen? That's what happens spiritually. You get all wound up. What's the point? You look into the mirror and you say, you know what? There's some changes I've got to make. I've got to do some things to fix myself up, and I probably ought to do them right now. Right? That's what James is saying. Now continue with me. Verse 24, he looks in the mirror and he goes his way and he forgets all about it. Verse 25, but in contrast to that, man, whoso looketh into the perfect law of liberty and continueth therein, he being not a forgetful hearer, but a doer of the work, this man shall be blessed in his deed. Tell me, friends, who's going to be blessed in his deed? The one who looks in the mirror and walks away and makes no changes, or the one that looks in the mirror and says, you know what, I'm lacking here, I got to fix it, right? That's the man that's going to be blessed. Man, woman, child of accountable age. Man is used generally speaking there, not specific. It's anthropos, not anar, which is male specific. I want you to think about this. The requirement. What's seen in it? The authority. It's Jesus Christ who's the authority. The asking. We've got to seek Him. We've got to look at Him. We've got to make sure we're on the right road. And then thirdly, we've got to walk. We've got to keep on moving on that path. All right, number two main point. We're going to get through it. Relax. The reward Jeremiah speaks of. Jeremiah 6 and verse 16. I want you to look at the second part of this verse. Walk, where's the good way? And walk therein, and now look at this. And ye shall find rest for your souls. This isn't like power. We don't preach this stuff and live by the book or try to live by the book so we can have control over you. We don't have control over you anyway. We don't want control. Couldn't handle it if we had it. God has the control, but I'm telling you, why would you want to look at what we're preaching this morning and change your life? Why? Why should I do that, preacher? Because right here, there's a reward involved. You find rest to your souls. Now, I want you to think about this real quickly with me. The reward involves three things. You ready? Three things out of this reward. Number one, it ensures that you're on the proper path. Now listen, when I'm traveling, the worst thing in the world, just look at me, I'll know whether you've been there or not. When you're traveling, don't you hate it when you're going down the road and you're not sure if you're going the right way or not? I hate it. I hate it. And we used to have a GPS. Now Julian's upgraded us, and so the thing doesn't do it anymore, but she used to say, rerouting, rerouting, rerouting. I'm telling you what, that thing was lucky it didn't make it out the window. I couldn't stand that thing. I already know I'm on the wrong road. There are times when I'm going, and I'm traveling, and I'm not sure. I'm not sure. I think I'm on the right road. So I'll say to the kids and to Julie, I'll say, hey, guys, we're looking for route whatever. If you see a sign, we ought to be going east here. Look where we're going, all right? And they're looking out the window because they just know Dad's probably lost. There's nothing in the world, in my opinion, worse than be traveling and not know you're on the proper path. But rest for your soul, what's this do? It ensures that I'm on the proper path. I don't have to guess. I don't do this arrogantly. Oh, I'm on the proper path. I'm the only one on the proper path. Nobody else is on the proper path. What I'm saying is, because of God's Word and His will, and somebody being so kind to teach me the gospel, I'm on the proper path. And I say that very humbly and very respectfully, understanding that at any point I can fall off the path. Okay? But I'm on the proper path. Less stress, less headaches through life. Right? Number two, it ensures that I'm properly protected. There's a part on Route 30. Now, none of you folks know where that's at, I'm sure. But if you go 13 and go, Clint, you go that direction on 13, okay? You go that direction, and you go hit 10, you get down 10, you hit 39, you get down 39, and you go all the way down 39, you hit Route 30. It comes right across. And that'll take you through, like, Merrillville and then into Ohio. Why would anybody live in Ohio? I don't know. But I knew a guy that used to live there, and he used to go on that Route 30. And so I would go down 39, and I would hit, this guy, he would hit Route 30, and he would go across. Now, there was a place on Route 30. Jumping, this is being recorded too. All right, how do I say this? There's a place on Route 30 in East Australia that is not the best place to be in there, especially at nighttime. Okay, you ever been through a place like that? Well, I was in that place, and it was interesting because when we drove up here as a family, I was a lot more worried than I went through there by myself. But with my family, I said to the kids, I remember saying, I said, guys, just put up your windows and just look straight ahead, all right? Let's not look at anything on the street. Let's not comment on anything. Let's just sing Kumbaya and keep on driving, okay? We don't want to run out of gas. We don't want to break down through here because it was a bad area. It was a bad area. See, when I travel down the road, I like to know that I'm properly protected. I like to, you guys will run with that, I'm sure, but I like to be properly protected. I mean, the windows are up, the doors are locked. I got my can of wasp spray there in case I run into any wasp and whatever else I might use for protection. I've got it there because I want to be safe, right? I want to be properly protected. Here's what's so cool about the old paths. The dangers ahead are easily protected, or easily handled, rather, with deity at my side, right? See, I don't know what tomorrow holds, but I know who holds tomorrow. I don't know what trouble's around the corner, but I know who can handle that trouble. See, I'm on the good path. I'm on the right path. But if I'm on the wrong path, friend, I'm in the wrong place at the wrong time with the wrong person. All right? It ensures that I'm on the proper path. It ensures that I'm properly protected. Number three, It means, this is just as clear as it can get, simple, but it means that I'm going to end up in the proper place. Right? If I want to go to Wisconsin, I need to be on the right road, I need to be on the proper path, or else I could end up in Virginia. Right? You can do that. If you drove and didn't pay attention. But you say, preacher, listen, don't be so hard. You got to understand that's the way I was raised. I mean, my mom and dad tried to go to Wisconsin one time, and they ended up in Virginia, and it was good for them, so it's got to be good for me. We wouldn't say that, would we? No, and I know those are emotional things. I know those are emotional things. Listen, my parents are Christians, but there are things that I was raised with, maybe religiously, maybe not religiously, that I've had to look at and say, you know what, I'm going to change that about me. Didn't you? There were certain things in your life that you were raised with that you said, when I get older, I don't want to do that. Why? Well, that didn't work so well for mom and dad. That's parents. My kids will look at me and say, you know what? We're not going to look in the mirror. We're just going to automatically shave. We know we need to do it. It'll work better for them, right? They're going to know things and do things based upon my experience, and maybe the things I've done wrong. That's okay. It's okay. It doesn't make me a bad person. It doesn't mean they're leaving their mother and father. Listen, I had a grandfather that I've been dreaming about him a lot, by the way, at night, and it's kind of neat seeing him in my dreams. I can hear his voice and everything. It just in my dreams. It's just in my mind. And Rhonda knows how that goes, I'm sure. But I've got these dreams about him. Now, listen, he was a good man. He was a good man. He did some things that just weren't right. He was a good man. He really was. My grandpa would sometimes fight at the drop of a hat. You know, as a young person like Stephen's age, I used to like that. That was pretty cool. Like my grandpa, I saw him whip a truck driver one time. I thought that was pretty cool. You know, but as I aged, I thought, that's not the thing to do, Grandpa. We need to get control of ourselves, and we don't want to do those kinds. That's not what we need to do. And so I look at my children, and I said, let me tell you a story about Grandpa. And I tell them a story, but I said, that's not what we do today. Well, Grandpa did was good enough for him. No, honey, he was wrong in that, okay? Now, if Grandpa would have known better, if he'd known what I know right now, he wouldn't do it. You know that? Because he was a good guy. If he knew what I know now about that kind of thing, he wouldn't do it. By the way, religiously, he was all mixed up. He went into eternity believing a different thing than I believe. What are you going to do about that, preacher? I'm going to tell you this. If my granddad were in my shoes today and knew what I know, he would have obeyed it. But he didn't. Well, all right. So he'll stand before his maker, and I'll stand before mine, but I know what to do. Well, I'm going to follow Grandpa no matter what, because, no, I'm not. I'm not going to follow Grandpa. There's times Grandpa was wrong. I'm going to follow God, okay? And if that means that it's not the same way Grandpa went, then I'm going to let God handle that, okay? Does that bother you? Yeah, sure it does. There are times that wakes me up in the middle of the night and it bothers me. But listen, I'm not going into eternity unprepared to meet God with what I know I need to do. I would never do that. And you know what? Here's another one. Are you listening? Your loved ones wouldn't want you to. If they're truly loved ones and they love you, if they are in another place than heaven or in that paradise setting, if they're in torments, if they are, I'm telling you, they would not want you to come to torments, right? You say, well, Daddy did it, Mommy did it. If Mommy and Daddy are there, they wouldn't want you to be there. I'm telling you, if they loved you, they wouldn't want you there. Do you remember the rich man? What did he beg? Please go tell my 5 brothers that they don't want to come to this place. What if they said, well, brother went into eternity like that, I'm going to go. He's saying, no, don't go. These are emotional things. But sometimes we've got to get the emotion out of us and use the common sense God has given us, right? And we all have to do that. Not all of us, not one of us have this heritage way back to Adam of good Christian people in our family. We all have had to say, that's not the right thing to do. I'm going to do the right thing. Right? Absolutely. Number 3 and finally this morning. There was a refusal. The requirement. I want you guys to get this path right. There was a reward to find rest in your souls. Thirdly, there was a refusal. Look at Jeremiah 6. Look what they said. Unbelievable. But they said, we will not walk therein. Now, under this refusal, I see 2 things, and then the lesson's yours. Number 1, I see a choice. I see a choice. You know, God doesn't force anyone to walk in the old paths. He doesn't twist our arm. He doesn't nudge us. He doesn't push us. He doesn't blockade the wrong path so we'll get on the right path. That's not what he does. That's not how God operates. God opens the paths, and they're clear. And there's a broad one, and there's a wide one that you can walk down. If you so choose, that'll be your choice. You can do it. There's a narrow one, kind of difficult to find, but if you search, you'll find it. God will let you walk down that one too. That choice is yours. You see, God has always given man a choice. Do you remember Joshua 24:15? If it seem evil to you to serve the Lord, choose you this day whom you will serve. Joshua said, listen, what was Joshua's choice? Well, you keep reading. Choose you this day whom you will serve, whether the gods which your fathers served, which are on the other side of the flood, or the gods of the Amorites in whose land ye dwell. You got this one, don't you? But as for, I start, you finish. But as for, we will serve the Lord, won't we? Now Joshua said, listen, I've got great friends in here that may decide to choose the Amorite way. They might choose to serve the gods that were back in Egypt, but I'm not going to do that, Joshua said. If no one, if 10 spies come back and say, we can't do it, Joshua said, I'm serving the Lord. I'm going to say, yeah, we can. Of course, you remember Caleb stood up with him. Caleb said, yeah, we can do it too, but there's only 2 out of 12. They about overtook these guys. It's a choice you have to make. Listen, you're going to sit here. You can sit here service after service after service, and you're going to have that choice. No one's going to force you. I've been accused of just about begging people, and I do. When I know you're out of Christ, I beg you, please make the right decision. It's only because I care about you. But contrary to popular belief, I will not walk back there and pull you out of the pew. All right, I will not do that. I told you, you step out, you give me one indication that you're coming, and I'll be back to meet you. I guarantee you. I'll make sure you don't trip, and I'll get you up here. Because I want you to be saved. God wants you to be saved. But I'm not coming back and pulling you out of the pew. It's a choice that you have to make. Remember Deuteronomy 13, right at the end of Moses' life. He said, I set before you life and death. I set before you blessing and cursing. Choose life, that you may live. It's a choice we have to make. Now, some don't choose to follow the old paths. Why? Bear with me real quickly. Let's talk about that just briefly. It's too narrow. Preacher, the things you preach mean I have to change my life. It's too narrow. I've not just been told that by the world. I've been told that by some of my brethren. Boy, the way you preach, it's all black and white. I had a guy say to me one time, it's just all black and white with you, isn't it? I said, yeah, pretty much. I didn't mean it sarcastic, but it is. It's 2 paths. It's not like, well, there's brush in the middle, maybe we'll walk down the middle. No, there's no middle. There's for him or there's against him, right? It is black and white. There's no gray area. Don't give me that. That's a postmodernistic mindset. That's not true. There's a right way and there's a wrong way. Maybe it's too narrow. Some say it's too rigid. To live like the Bible says, you have to throw away half my DVD collection. I'm so antiquated. I'd have to unsubscribe to 47 YouTube channels, right? That's what it would be today, or throw out the Blu-ray. I'm antiquated, I know. Electronically, I'm not there. Well, yeah. I'd have to change. I've changed my refrigerator. I've got things in my basement refrigerator that I enjoy after work. I have to dump that stuff out. You can give it to Donnie. He'll take it up to the cows. I hear it's really good for them. They really like to drink it before they eat. I've heard that. I don't know if it's true or not. I get cows. You'll see. I'll be buying cases of beer and dumping it to the cows. I won't be drinking this stuff because I'm not going to live that way. Well, that's too rigid. Are you serious? Come on. What are you saying? I have changed my words. I'm going to have to watch the way I talk. Well, that cussing, getting mad and stuff like that. Now, I'm telling you, now we're right down to where the rubber meets the road, right? Tell you what, even on Route 13, whether I'm going that way or that way, there are people that pull right out in front of me. I just make me want to bite my tongue off. I get so frustrated I can jump out and let the air out of their tire, don't you? Well, I got to remember who I am. I got to quit that, though. I got to say, you know what, God? I'm not going to live like that. I'm not going to live like that. I'm going to do different. Oh, I slip up sometimes. I haven't recently on Route 13, don't worry. But I do slip up sometimes. I got to come back to God because I have a tendency to get a little hot-tempered at that. It just bothers me. It makes me mad. I got to cool off about that. There's some changes I need to make. It's too rigid. Doesn't fit my lifestyle. Doesn't fit my lifestyle. What about this one? I was always taught. Preacher, I grew up in a church where that wasn't taught. I grew up in a church that would completely disagree with what you're saying. That's all right. I don't know if you knew this or not, but I'm not that popular. I'm not like that popular at all. Now, I will say this. I am on YouTube, so things might change for me, all right? But my preaching isn't going to get me any awards here on earth. I know that. I'm only wanting one. I only want one from the Father. If I can preach the truth to you, if you accept the truth, we'll get the reward together. That's the only way, because there's a choice in it. There's a choice. You can be popular, you can be rich, you can be famous, you can live like the world if you want to, or you can choose the narrow path. It's going to be tougher, but it's going to be better. And then secondly, under this idea, I see a consequence. You ready? Because of the choices I make, I see a consequence. In the context in which we find ourselves in Jeremiah 6, Babylon was the consequence. He's coming. Nebuchadnezzar's coming. And he did come. 606 BC, he came and took away the first deportment out of Jerusalem back to Babylon. 597, he came again and he took the second deportment out and killed a bunch of people that resisted. And then in 586 he came, he burned the city, and he burned the temple. And Jeremiah was left, an old man, by the way, and he was left to watch this city go up in smoke. And that's, if you would read the book of Lamentations, that's what that's all about. That was written sometime after 586, or right around 586. And what was happening was Jeremiah was seeing Jerusalem burn, and so he wrote 5 chapters by the Holy Spirit's guidance, the book of Lamentations, over the city of Jerusalem burning. I wish you wouldn't have done it, God. You told me you were going to, and so I accept it. But I wish it wouldn't have had to come to that. There was a consequence. Dear friends, the old path will lead to eternal life. Are you ready? There's a consequence. In our young people's bulletin today, I put a crossword puzzle for them. That's not just a fun crossword puzzle. I hope it is fun. But it's not just fun for them. It's fun filled with words that they can think about. 2 of the words in that crossword puzzle, I'll give you a little hint, guys. A place of joy is heaven. And a place of torment is hell. And the truth of the matter is, that's the choice we have to pick this morning. It's a choice, but the choice you make will determine the consequence you have. And I plead with you to make the right one. You see, the old way, it isn't the popular way. It's been abandoned by so many people today who decided that new is better. Many are leaving the Bible. Many are leaving true worship. Many are leaving Bible preaching. Many are leaving, thus saith the Lord. Yet, dear friends, God has not changed. Hebrews 13:8, He doesn't change. He's constant. He's consistent. He won't move on His word. Now listen here. The enemies are changing the signs. You're coming to some crossroads. You need to be careful. Friends, I'm telling you, pick up your book. Pick up the road map. Make sure the map corresponds with the signs you're seeing. And if it doesn't, you follow the map. The map won't change. The road signs may, because there's enemies in here. And they'll try to win the battle. But you see, you and I are smarter than that. We're not going to let them win. We've got the map. We've got the book that'll lead to eternal life. Now, dear friend, it's up to you and I to study it, to love it, appreciate it, and apply it to our lives. Are you willing to do that this morning? I know this morning we have some in our assembly that have not been baptized into Christ. Now listen, you've looked into the book with me this morning. You know what you need to do. I'll still repeat it because I love to tell the old story. You need to believe that Jesus Christ is the Son of God. You say, well, I do. I believe Him. I believe He's Christ. All right, good. And I don't care if you do a checklist. Do a checklist. Checklist, I believe in Him. Well, are you willing to repent? You know, I've been in assemblies like this where there's just been some good people. I knew a man one time didn't obey the gospel. There was hardly nothing he had to change in his life. He was a good guy, but he wouldn't do it. I asked him one time, I said, what do you hide in your closet that you won't repent of? He said, nothing. I said, well, then repent. Check. Confess Him before men. I'll help you. I'll help you get the words out if you need help. Confess Him before men. Be baptized for the forgiveness of your sins. Acts 22:16. Listen, it doesn't get any easier than that. I know the path is narrow. I know it's hard to find. But you've got the map that tells you that's the way to go. Now, why don't you do that this morning? Make that choice. Step out in that aisleway. Give me one indication you want to come to Christ, and I'll be there to meet you. If you're here this morning, you're a child of God, but somehow you've gotten off that path. You need to come back through repentance and through prayer. Acts 8, verse 22. You need to plead with God. He'll forgive you. He's got the biggest heart in the world. And you can come back to Him and be in His favor this morning. Choose the old paths. Choose them right now. Please, I'll be here to meet you while we stand.